Join the Wide Whale team May 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern for part 1 of our 3-part virtual event series, Voice of the Resident, where we will look at the tour and move-in lifecycle stages. We've built a data set of 400,000 Google reviews from residents of hundreds of top multifamily groups, including the NMHC Top 50. Using AI and topic sentiment analysis, get a unique perspective on resident preferences. Go to widewhale.com/data to sign up or find it on the revised community. That's widewhale.com/data.
Hey, welcome to Optimized, a marketing performance podcast brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Janet Rosseth, a 25-year veteran of multifamily marketing and founder and CMO of Cadence Marketing Solutions. I want to thank you for hitting play today. You have a lot of options for content, and I'm genuinely grateful that you chose this episode. This podcast is going to challenge you to reach 1% better somewhere in your daily life, and optimizing is how we're going to do that together. Whether it's bringing your personal best to your work or your life, building efficient work processes, uncovering new trends, or making sense of meaningful data, we're going to dig in together and find that 1%. Listen, I'm excited to be here with you. This is new to me, and I might trip through this first episode. I'm a lot more comfortable seeing my audience, so bear with me. I want to talk first about the title. Optimized. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the meaning of optimize is to make as perfect, effective, or functional as possible. I want to put the emphasis on the term as. I'm a big believer in progress over perfection, but also in making small changes that add up to big results. There are so many disciplines of marketing, and most marketers in multifamily are spread so thin trying to specialize in all of them that they really aren't mastering any of them. I'm excited to introduce you to a great lineup of guests in this podcast. In upcoming episodes, people who are stepping out of their comfort zone to adapt to the biggest challenges facing our industry and those who influence marketing. If that's you, we're going to optimize together. First, let me introduce you to my journey so you know a little bit about me. I've been in the industry for over 25 years. I started as a leasing agent while still in college and was invited to add trainer, event planner, and resident retention onto that role at a pretty large property. When the company I was working for acquired a large portfolio, I had the opportunity to move into a marketing role. That company doubled in size every year for a couple of years, and I grew that position from me, myself, and I to 18 people deep with several marketing managers that oversaw a portfolio of properties. We also had an in-house creative team, in-house contact center, and specialized leasing teams to tackle lease-ups and underperforming properties. From there, I moved to another local company with a much smaller portfolio, but exciting marketing projects and less travel. I worked with an incredibly talented team of 3, and we became known for testing new tech and engagement strategies ahead of most of our competition. It required us to build a lot of credibility and trust with our on-site teams, and I learned the value of leading with influence, not authority. I truly understand the role marketers play in asking teams across their organization to change and learn new processes when most of them don't report to you. Next, I took a giant leap and stepped outside the comfort of a corporate environment to start my own consulting company. I've had the incredible opportunity to apply lessons I've been mastering for 20 plus years to the challenges my clients are facing today. This little boutique consultancy has grown, and beyond client work, we have developed products that flush out friction in asset performance, workshops that provide playbooks for marketers and operators, and a really rewarding online community of marketing influencers that lean into one another to learn and grow. I've tackled luxury, affordable, traditional market rate, mixed use, senior housing, and a little student housing. I feel like I've overseen everything that could possibly fall between internal and external marketing, leasing enablement, ad spend, tech launch, etc. I've often said that marketing tends to touch every end of the business. I'd like to say I've done it all, but I haven't. Hey, here I am launching a new podcast. And marketing changes constantly, so just when you think you know it, it changes again and you have to learn again. I've surrounded myself with a lot of really talented multifamily marketing influencers who are constantly teaching me new things. So it's my goal to bring new conversations and ideas to you via this podcast so we can learn and grow together. For this first episode, I'm going to keep it short and just introduce you to a few key principles that I've learned along my journey and that I take with me in a lot of different projects. We'll probably unpack each of these in future episodes.
This episode is brought to you by Wide Whale. the reputation partner for BH, Avenue 5, Trilogy, and more. Join Wide Whale on May 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern for event number 1 in our 3-part virtual event series, Voice of the Resident. We will be looking at in-depth topic and sentiment analysis from 400,000 Google reviews from residents of the largest multifamily groups, including the NMHC Top 50. Throughout the series, we will report on resident preferences and trends found in reviews by life cycle stage, retention, residency, and for our first event, tour and move-in. You'll leave with insights to optimize your operations, creating better resident experiences and driving better reviews. Put your dollars to work in the right places. Hear it directly from the source, the words of 400,000 residents. Go to widewhale.com/data to sign up or find it on the revised community in virtual events. Attend live or watch on demand. That's widewhale.com/data.
First, marketing is math. I love the analytics that tell the story. If you're not seeing it clearly in your reporting, widen the lens, reverse the numbers, and look for gray areas. If your leasing teams are converting leads to leases at 6%, if you flip those numbers for a bigger story, that tells you that 94% of your prospects aren't converting. Where does that lead you? What can you do with that? Then zoom out on occupancy. If you're closing leads, but the net vacancy still isn't moving, where does the math take you next? What's happening at the back door? Are you moving residents out faster than in? And what about your ad spend and your ad sources? Are they generating quantity but not quality? There's a story in each of these situations that can be further explored. Vacancy is a really hot topic right now. Is there a story there? On the very basic end, are you sitting on vacant units and offering incentives? What happens if you run scenarios around applying your incentives to keep your residents in place so you don't incur vacancy loss, plus turn costs, plus marketing costs, and added incentives? There can be a lot of stories in the math when you really start to look at it. Second, time is precious. You have to learn to be efficient in this industry. I always talk about working on that which affects many instead of that which affects few. If you found yourself spending your morning on a project that affects one property, how can you apply it across the portfolio and make it available to property teams across the rest of the portfolio? Pay attention to where you spend your time. Are there applications that can help you do things faster? Or is there outsourcing that could take projects that you're spending too much time on so that you can work on something new? I often ask marketing team members to track their time for a few days. It can be incredibly revealing to acknowledge the work you're saying yes to that results in a no to initiatives that drive your progress in your organization. Are you too bogged down in the minutia to onboard new tools that can automate those tasks? When was the last time you evaluated what to start, stop, or continue? That's a good place to begin. Third, resources are found externally. You're not going to grow and learn without reaching beyond your desk and beyond those four walls. Relationships require investment, and growth happens outside your comfort zone. I love that you're listening and learning here right now, but be sure to also find opportunities to be present where the conversations are happening. This episode is probably dropping during the AIM conference, so if you're there, I'm hopeful that you're meeting new peers and connecting on LinkedIn, but that you're going to also take that conversation further in the future and not just leave it at a simple connection. Get out to those association events or join a networking group. We really learn where we can also contribute, so find your voice and find a place where you can share your talent. Whether you're new to the industry or seasoned, we truly all have something to offer. I hope you'll listen in on the next episode because we're really digging deeper into this subject. I plan to talk a whole lot more about all of these principles and more in future episodes, and you're probably going to hear me apply principles of running and athletic performance to growth in business. It's also pretty likely that I'm going to drop some hockey wisdom. I've been playing on a women's team for about 10 years, and while you would think that I'd be pretty good by now, I'm not. It's still new to me, and I'm still learning and growing, but I'm loving being coached on a team of women who are all trying to grow together. I'm always pushing myself just a little further because that's where the growth really happens. Listen, I'm not an Olympic athlete, so don't worry, you're not going to get lessons constantly about fitness and performance. I'm just an average gal who likes to see what I'm capable with a few small changes, and I often apply math to it. Runners don't get better by taking the same route at the same pace every time they lace up their shoes. And in hockey, you have to anticipate where the puck is going, not react to where it was. You can quickly see how performance in business is similar to athletics. It's really about setting goals in order to gain that 1% each time. I'm also likely to talk about podcasts I'm listening to, books I love, and industry voices that I like to follow. I'm constantly following somebody new, so it's never the same. For starters, if you haven't read Atomic Habits by James Clear, I really recommend starting there. I'm on my second pass through, and every time I pick up the book or listen to the audio cast, I find some new tip. I hope you're going to join me to cover the mileage of this marketing journey. It's a massive role in our industry, and we're going to break it down and optimize together. I want to thank you again for taking this little bit of time today for this session and to get to know me a little better. I hope you found a bit of inspiration and a little wisdom to optimize your performance and come back and listen again in the future. If you're a marketing influencer, either operations or supplier, I want you to be sure to check out Cadence Marketing Solutions and specifically explore our Run Club online community. No actual running is necessary, but we've made it our mission to support marketers and lead you to the voices, resources, and tools that impact your success in this fast-paced industry. If you've enjoyed this episode, I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe. Visit Multifamily Media Network to learn more about our other industry podcasts, thought pieces, and sponsorship opportunities. There's always something new dropping. I hope you'll give it a chance. Until next time, I hope you go find your 1%. See you next week.